Hello everyone, this is Mike at lockingthevalue.com. Today we are talking about Ripple. Now, as a there are many Bitcoin maximalists out there, and there are many um, altcoin maximalists and just enthusiasts out there. Ripple goes against the grain in terms of um, being very much a centralized payment method. Now, I was against Ripple, and to some degree, am against Ripple in terms of it is not in keeping with the vision of what cryptocurrencies were for. It was the point, a large point of it was to be no longer dependent on banking and banking systems. However, um, taking emotion and bias out of it, we have to look at this logically. I believe we could see a breakout in Ripple, and the only reason I'll say this is based on three factors really. The first is the Bitcoin halving. Now, traditionally, certainly over the last two times that there's been a halving, what we have seen from Bitcoin halvings is that the price skyrockets. Obviously, because the mining capabilities are halved, but we're at a point now where if the price doesn't increase, it won't be financially viable to make a profit on Bitcoin when mining it, unless people do continue to see it as a storage of value like gold. So there's one point there really. If Bitcoin doesn't increase like people are hoping when the halving comes, then there's a chance that it's going to start falling out of um that top spot of coin market, like that top spot in terms of all cryptocurrencies. Right now it is far and away more valuable and stronger than any. It accounts for more than 50% of the market cap. In fact, it accounts for more than 60% of the total market cap in cryptocurrencies. I think the total market cap is 195 billion, sorry, and Bitcoin is 125 billion of that. Huge proportion. But if it's no longer valuable and no longer profitable to mine, we could see a change in this top spot. Ethereum obviously is a hell of a platform, but Ripple, the reason I want to talk about Ripple, you've got to bear in mind, especially in America, where they keep talking about ETFs, you know, the people standing in the way aren't completely down to just banks. And a lot of people are saying bankers are the reason, but that's not true. Bankers have a very strong investment within Ripple. And if ETF isn't passed for Bitcoin, there is a good chance that banks are going to push for an ETF to be passed on Ethereum and Ripple has a chance to break out. Now look at Ripple in terms of partnerships at the moment. Santander, huge bank, MoneyGram, American Express. I mean, these are just some of them. And that doesn't. There's over 200 banks that run with Ripple at the moment. And recently Bank of America partnered with Ripple, which is huge, huge. Having the leading bank in America joining with Ripple, there is going to be a push for Ripple to become a real stabilized payment method. And if Bitcoin tanks, Ripple has a chance to break out. I hope Bitcoin doesn't. I'm not suggesting for a second I want this, right? But we peruse through the news and we've had a look through. And what I'm seeing and what we've all discussed is that we think that there could be potentially a breakout for Ripple. And if ETFs don't go through for Bitcoin, which is possible that they won't, it really is. You can't assume that they're going to. People kept assuming, and a lot of them have been put off and put off and put off. When you've got a leading bank now joining with Ripple, there's going to be a push for Ripple to have a breakout in some form, whether it's an ETF or whether it's bringing cryptocurrencies starting with Ripple to the fore of people's daily life. You know, especially with coronavirus, you look at there's stuff that's happening at the moment. People are trying to avoid using cash because the virus can be transmitted through paper. So there's more of a discussion and more of a need and more of a practical need for digital payments. Ripple could very well be that the currency that is at the fore of this. Um, and there's a massive situation that's going on because Bank of America are there's rumors. So I'm not saying this is true. There's rumors that Bank of America is going to make a Ripple acquisition in the summer. Okay, they partnered with Ripple 5 days ago, or that's when it all came out. Right now, there's no details on the acquisition yet. But if that happens, we could see a severe price surge in Ripple. Because if you bear in mind, Julie Harris, the head of global banking at Bank of America, has said it's not about our platform and our capabilities, it's about you as a client and the infrastructure you have and the ability for us to integrate, whether that's with platforms and capabilities that we build partnerships, I think that's meant to be, that we have that with the likes of Ripple or Swift. These are fintechs that we're partnering with. They've come through all our rigor of legal and compliance, and we're able to leverage our banking as a platform to deliver that to you. This statement has big implications. Now, if Bank of America decide that they really want to make Ripple a featured point within their bank, and they begin using RippleNet, the that means XRP now, Ripple, can now reach globally. Like instead of, I mean, it has the potential to do that now, but it could be have a global reach within banking. That's huge. And the idea that that happens, you know, if Ripple Network and Bank of America tie up, mainstream doors to the third largest digital asset on the market, the breakout could be enormous. It could be legitimately enormous. Now, this is not us saying dump all your money into Ripple, because I still fundamentally, I've got that bias. Ripple is not what I wanted from cryptocurrency. What I wanted was a decentralized system where we're not dependent on banks. But as an investment, we've got to logically look at this, right? Ripple is at just less than 19 cents at the moment. Okay, so you spend $100, you're going to get, give or take, 500 odd Ripple. Okay, if Ripple bounces back and it's $1, which it's more than feasible that that will happen, you've made yourself 400 bucks, because each one, if you got 500 and they're $1 each, 500 bucks, right? Its highest point ever was $3.6 or $3.63, which is enormous. Now, I'm not sure it will ever reach that again, but if it does, or if Bitcoin starts falling out of that top ether, something has to take its place. And remember, this is still a market. Markets are cyclical. You know, everyone panicked when the banking crash happened, and it was awful for a lot of people, but it took 18 months for most stocks to not only recover, but exceed where they were at prior to the banking crash. The same thing will happen with the cryptocurrency market to some degree. It might not exceed, but it will damn sure bounce back. It might be straight after this lockdown. It might be 6 months after that, but it's going to happen because now more than ever as well, there's been a clear need for digital currency. You know, well done that there's like contactless cards and stuff, but we're using Apple Pay on our phones. Digital currencies, especially stuff that transfers immediately, like Ripple minimizes the costs for global bank transfers. There's a huge problem that it solves in terms of finances, and because it's partnered with banks, mass companies that are sending massive amounts to different countries can save themselves thousands and thousands of dollars by using Ripple's network. And if banks start implementing it outright, and Bank of America could very well lead this charge, XRP could really see a gain that none of us thought was possible. I'm not saying it's going to break to $5, but the market cap on this is already undervalued. XRP is already undervalued. It's it's lower than it was in 2007, in May 2017. You know, it's at its lowest point in a long time. It's been one of the worst performers, no doubt about it. It's been one of the worst performers over the last sort of 12 months. There's articles written about how poorly it's performed. But when you're seeing something that has performed poorly, making a partnership with one of the biggest banks in the world, there is a big statement being made there, and it's something to consider. Um, we at Lock in the Value are put moving parts of our portfolio now. Like there's four or five, well, three or four of us here that actually have a cryptocurrency portfolio. There's four or five that aren't interested. But those of us with a crypto portfolio, myself included, I'm now shifting so that 40% of my holdings are going to be XRP. I've got the rest spread across numerous different currencies, and I will go into them and why them at a later date. I just wanted to, well, we wanted to do a video on what we thought has some real potential, and I think hopefully we've illuminated people to the possibilities um, with regards to XRP. Thank you for your time. Take care and stay safe, guys. Bye.